Thank you for listening to my daddy's podcast. Please subscribe to our channel.
All I gotta say is, who that?
Rock with it, ha, lean with it, ha, rock with it, ha. What's going on, Who That Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones, and yes, I am the host of the State of the Saints podcast, and thank you so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast, where we talk, fix the mic, New Orleans Saints. Thank you so much for tuning in, making the State of the Saints podcast part of your listening and viewing pleasure. On this edition, we're going to be talking, of course, about the New Orleans Saints. We're going to be talking a little bit about a free agent signing, a cornerback the New Orleans Saints have brought to the team. We're also going to be getting into Blake Grupe. Is he taking shots at the Saints? Whoa. And we're also going to be answering the question, if you had one thing that you can change about the New Orleans Saints, what would it be? All right, this comes from a question that I asked earlier on X, and if you have not or haven't followed me on Twitter or X, you can follow me at TJAYJones8. I asked the question to the Who That Nation, if you can change one thing about the Saints, what would it be and why? All right, we're going to be getting into that a little bit later, but of course, I want to give a special shout out to all those that are in the chat. Thank you so much. For those that are watching at home, aren't in the chat, but they listen and view frequently, thank you so much as well. Also, I want to say thank you to all those that have been a part of the NFC South Roundtable this season, and also took part in the show on last night. And also, I want to give a special shout out to my guy Berto, man. Unfortunately, his father went into cardiac arrest on last night, man. And I just want to send some prayers out to my guy Berto, man, as his father, is dealing with that, man. My prayers go out to him and his family. Look, man, at the end of the day, we bust each other's chops on the NFC South Roundtable, but those guys are my family. Those are my brothers over there, man. And we have created an amazing show. And, I just want to give my thoughts and prayers to my guy Berto. But let's go ahead and get into it, man. Let's talk a little bit about the Saints free agent signing. Of course, they signed cornerback, and this is a guy who, quite honestly, man, this could be a sneaky pickup for the New Orleans Saints. They picked up Beanie Bishop. Now, he's not a household name or anything like that, and if you didn't follow college football, you probably don't know who this guy is, but I can remember him having an incredible night against the Jets. I believe that was last season. I mean, he was awarded the defensive player of the month. I think he had 3 interceptions in a month. He had 4 interceptions in a season. And the most incredible thing about this is Beanie Bishop played in only 17 games and he started in 6. And he had 4 interceptions in a game. And this could be a great opportunity for him to be a part of a secondary with a bunch of young guys that are trying to figure it out. He's 25 years old. He'll be 26 on the 17th of December. And he's a guy that, to me, if he could come into this room and make an impact like he did with the Steelers when he got his opportunity to do so, this could be a sneaky pickup for the New Orleans Saints. And this can be a guy that could add some depth and also possibly be a regular starter on the team, if he plays his cards right. And this seems like this is what the Saints are doing. They're finding young, diamond in the rough type players that have made some plays elsewhere. They're young enough to be able to carve out a lane for themselves, and also they don't cost the team as much. So we seen it with Jalen Polk, we've seen it with Trey Palmer, and now we're seeing it again with Beanie Bishop. So only time will tell what Beanie can actually do. But once again, I mean, he was awarded the defensive rookie player of the month in the month of October last season. Just a little bit of his collegiate stats. He was a notable mention. He started his collegiate career at West Virginia. Then he transferred to Minnesota and then Western Kentucky. Well, let me. It was actually backwards. He started his career at Western Kentucky, then Minnesota, and then West Virginia. All right. He finished his collegiate career with 172 tackles, 30 pass breakups, and 7 interceptions in 62 games. He's 5'10", 184 pounds, and his hometown is Louisville, Kentucky. So it's a guy that can come in and possibly make an impact for the New Orleans Saints. So I'm excited to see what he can actually do because, I mean, the Saints secondary isn't deep to a point where this guy couldn't get opportunity and we can see him as a starter in the next couple of weeks. So should be interesting to see what Beanie Bishop can actually do with the New Orleans Saints team. Also want to get into a comment by Blake Grupe. Now, if you haven't been following the news, Blake Grupe has been signed by the Indianapolis Colts. It didn't take Blake Grupe very long to find a job. He impressed the Indianapolis Colts after they decided to get rid of their kicker who has had some struggles. And, you know, Blake Grupe went out there and impressed them. And, you know, they talked to Blake Grupe after they signed him. And this is what he said, man. I mean, look, it was very interesting to hear Blake Grupe talk about him being signed by the Indianapolis Colts and what it means to him. Check it out.
Well, first of all, it's been awesome to watch this team and everything that, you know, this team's been working towards, you know, with everything that's gone on this year with them and being able to watch that from afar. And so it's been awesome to see this team grow and have success, you know, and that maybe not people didn't expect. So, but to now be a part of it and, you know, feel like I'm playing meaningful football and that, you know, we're all working towards something here together.
So he said that, you know, he feel like he's playing meaningful football. Now, I want to believe that Blake Grupe is just basically saying that him doing his part and kicking the ball through the uprights, you know, for a team in the Indianapolis Colts who have playoff aspirations and are a very good football team this season, if he does his part, then they can win the football games. But, you know, of course, people aren't going to look at it that way. They're going to look at it like him taking a shot at the Saints. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention that the reason why Blake Grupe is in Indianapolis right now, as I speak, is because of his own doing. Now, if this is a shot, I mean, I don't understand why, because he has no one to blame but himself. I mean, the Saints gave him ample opportunities to go through the motions and fix whatever the heck was going on with him, and he couldn't. And he was costing the team opportunities, and most importantly, he cost the Saints the game against the Falcons. Like, you can make an argument that if he would have made those field goals, then the Saints could have possibly won that football game. So in that regard, if this was a shot at the organization, I don't understand why. It's his fault. Like, it's like, I don't know, if somebody tells you don't touch the stove because it's hot and you touch the stove anyway, like, is it really their fault or is it your fault? They warned you. They gave you an opportunity to fix whatever the heck going on with you and you couldn't. But I don't have any issues with Blake Grupe, and I'm happy for him. Like, I don't want to see a guy, you know, get, you know, tossed out on the street and never to get a job again. And I hope that whatever hiccups he's had in the road, he's able to fix. Just like I hope that the New Orleans Saints can find a solid kicker. Now, Charlie Schmidt kicked a 56-yard field goal, and that is great. He was able to kick a successful onside kick, and that was great as well. But I am not going to get too high on an impressive debut of anybody, because that is how you fall for that trap. Like, you see these guys, they do something right, and then all of a sudden you put all your hope and trust in them. I just say be consistent. I just hope that the New Orleans Saints can have a kicker that can be consistent. So if they are faced with a situation like they did against the Falcons, where you have to kick field goals in order for you to stay in a game, they have a field goal kicker that can kick the ball through the uprights, just like I hope Blake Grupe is able to kick the ball through the uprights for the Indianapolis Colts so they can continue to be on that winning track that they're on. But I don't know. I want to believe that it was more so like him saying, I want to do my part. And if I do my part, I'm playing some meaningful football and the kicks that I'm making really count. So I don't know. I'm just going to assume that, because that would make absolutely no sense, because everybody knows that Blake Grupe is in Indianapolis and is on his own accord. I mean, it has nothing to do, like, this was his own doing, right? It was his own doing. Like, you basically dug the hole for yourself by looking like absolute slaw throughout the entire season. So you have nobody to blame but yourself. But let's go ahead and get into a few more things. But first, let's go ahead and acknowledge the chat. I want to give a special shout out to everybody in the chat right now. We're going to be answering the question, if you can change one thing about the New Orleans Saints organization, what will it be and why? And I want to make it very clear. Like, you can't just say somebody or something and don't clarify, right? You got to be able to give us a reason why. And we're going to open up the phone lines and going to allow you to be able to let us know who's it going to be, all right? Who's it going to be for you? And, like, why did you select that person? But let's go ahead and acknowledge the chat here, all right? So Bruce Saint says, get to play meaningful football. Well, Blake, maybe if you made 85% of your kicks, the Saints would have had more meaningful games. Yeah, man. I mean, that was a bad choice of words, but I don't want to believe that he said that just to take shots at the Saints. I mean, why would you do that? That was not – I mean, bruh, they gave you so many opportunities for you to fix your issues with the field goals, and you just couldn't do it. To me, it sounded like Grupe was saying because the games were meaningful is the reason I was performing poorly. Well, if that's the case, like, you shouldn't be the field goal kicker of anybody's team, because even if your team is performing poorly, you shouldn't, right? You shouldn't be the reason why your team sucks, right? You shouldn't be behind that. Like, the Saints are bad, but would you say that Demario Davis is the reason the Saints are bad? Absolutely not. Every single week we see Demario Davis leading the team in tackles, right? Like, do your part, right? I mean, regardless to if the team is bad or not, at least they can be like, well, at least we got a good field goal kicker that can make some field goals. Well, they can't even say that. So I hope, like I said, man, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he was just nervous. Maybe, it was just the wrong choice of words. But I don't want to believe that a guy who has been given opportunity after opportunity this entire season to fix his situation, fix the issues that have been plaguing him throughout, that he's taking shots at the team on the way out. I don't want to believe that. I don't want to believe it. I want to believe that he just kind of stumbled over his words, and it was just a bad choice of words. I don't want to believe that. That the reason why he's not in New Orleans right now is because of himself. He has nobody to blame but himself. So you can be mad all you want to, but make sure when you're mad, you're looking at that guy in the mirror when you're being that way. Alfred, thank you very much for the 199. Says, what you think about Cam Jordan interview today? I didn't check out Cam Jordan interview today. All right. I mean, matter of fact, if y'all got some time, we can probably take a look at it. I mean, let me know. I know we can still get to the, to the comments and open up the phone lines a little bit later. But let's see what he said, man. I mean, I'm a little bit behind. A lot of things going on today, radio station related, and other stuff. But I didn't get a chance to really check out a lot of interviews. I was going to do that afterwards, after the show. But let's go ahead. We can check out what Cam Jordan had to say. Pulling that up right now. Let's see. See a Cam Jordan interview here. See what old Cam had to say today. I mean, he talked kind of long, 17 minutes. 17 minutes with Cam Jordan. Okay. See what he got to say. Hold on. I'm going to go ahead and share this screen. Go ahead and share this screen so everybody can take a look at what I'm looking at. All right. So here we go. Cam Jordan.
Oh, me.
Yeah.
Okay.
How do you feel you are, like, how are things going for you? This obviously, like, the team isn't where you want to be.
Jesus. Yeah, absolutely not.
But, like,
personally playing well. Some would say at a high level. Things that we've known that it could do, I think, in terms of this year alone, I'm just really, really enjoying the ability to show the ability. Love the edge room that I'm in. Different because, the D-line room has sort of always been has always been together. And this year, you got the interior D-line in one room and the edges in the other, but really enjoy the edge room. It's great to see, guys entering their prime when you talk about, year 6, year 7 type guys and Carl and Chase and um, bringing the addition of Chris Rumpf. And you have a young guy like Fidel who's willing to learn and starting to show like some flashes in practice. It's sort of an ability to actually enjoy the moment, which I was upset for 2 or 3 days after Miami, really after trash Atlanta. He was the dumb, and I was upset for about 4 days, and then we lose to Miami. I was like, that's a winnable game. If anything, that's sort of where we've been. We've sort of been losing games that I think we've been close in, and prior seasons you've seen success when you can build confidence off those winnable games. When you don't build confidence, then you sort of see the actions.
A couple things on that, like showing that you have the ability still, even though it's been demonstrated over 15 years. I obviously the last couple of years were what they were, the sack numbers and everything, but was it important to you to show that like, you still have that?
I mean, Cam Jordan, I mean, you got to be honest. I mean, he's had a outstanding season. Like he's been extremely disruptive, especially over the last 3 to 4 games. And I think that this new defensive scheme led by Brandon Staley as the defensive coordinator has really helped them out. And like it's good to see Cam Jordan at 36 years old still able to get to the quarterback. But I mean, you want to see some of those guys that he named when he was talking about the D-line room to step up. I mean, it's time for these guys to make an impact just as much as Cam made this season.
Yeah, I mean,
even if you knew it, to show it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say at the end of last year, last 4 games were pretty good in terms of opportunity as well as ability shown. So it was just building off that beginning of the year. You're able to take a heftier rotation of reps, and all of a sudden production's back up. And then you enter your rotation, and it's like, all right, as long as there's an opportunity, there's ability to be shown. So you have to be thankful for opportunities granted and take advantage of each and every one.
Is it harder to appreciate your personal production when you are spending a couple days after the game being pissed off?
That's how I've always been. So I don't know how to answer that. Yeah, I'm never going to be happy about a loss. The fact that this is the first time I think we for sure have ever been eliminated from playoff this early in the year sort of sucks. Because you work so hard in the offseason, you work so hard in OTAs, you work so hard to training camp, try and meld together during the season to create something like a winning season, a successful season, and it doesn't come out that way. It keeps you up at night for a couple of days. And at the same time, now it's focusing on what you can't control. It's always been control what you can't control, and that's your mindset, that's your mentality, that's the ability to get after the pass rusher, stop the run, and make your teammates better for this last 5 weeks.
I'm going to say this, man. I think that the next 5 weeks are some of the most important weeks in a coaching career of Kellen Moore, because now you have a team that's eliminated from playoff contention. These guys really don't have much to play for other than one another and maybe playing spoiler to a couple of teams. You're going to see, like, does this team really respect Kellen Moore? Like, are they really buying into what he's actually selling? Because, like I said, it's a team that, don't have anything in front of them as in playoff success, divisional success, none of that stuff. So the way that this team looks over the next 5 weeks, to me, is going to be extremely telling about Kellen Moore.
You think that getting that ramp to play 6 weeks or whenever it was, Chase was out, help you still be productive even when you had to be shift back to a rotational role?
I don't know about that one. I truly love this game, so I'm always going to say the more reps, the better. But it is, I can't control what I can't control. At the end of the day, if you give me more than 5 plays, then I can have a chance to have more than five plays being made. I can't control the number of reps. I do know that when I'm in, I'm highly effective, and that hasn't ever changed. I don't think rookie year till now.
So, having said that, I mean, I think I know the answer to this, but I don't want to put words in your mouth. Like when you were going through these last 2 years, you knew that this was something you were good for.
Yeah, I mean, if you say 2 years ago when I had 2 sacks because I tore, I mean, what was that, 8, 9, or 10 games in or whatever? Right after that bye week, we played Trash Atlanta, tore the perineals and something else in the ankle, and all I could do was go forward for the last 6 games. So sucked, but at the same time, that's showing love for the game. Being able to say if I can't bend the edge, fine. I got teammates that can. My sack production was low, but tackles were still there. The run stops were still there. And then the next year, buried for whatever reason, which one day an explanation should be had. But
we've been skirting the edges.
Yeah, skirt the edges. Yeah. Without going toxic. But after there was opportunities given at the end of that last year, and you see 4 sacks in 5 games, production back up. It's always been proven that the ability's there. It's just being able to capitalize.
I know at the beginning of the year we talked about reworking your contract, and you told your agent, "Hey, I want some incentives in there to kind of."
I don't want any incentives. No, I always say pay me what is owed. But if they're going to, take what they want, all I want is the opportunity to prove that I am who I am.
Do you feel like that's happened? I mean, obviously there's that number, and you're in that kind of range now.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't really think about that. For me, I'm looking at legacy push, which normally I talk about accolades or whatever after season, but sort of looked at it after the Miami game. It's like, dang, no, you're normally pushing for playoffs. Now that you're not pushing playoffs, it's almost a selfish turn. Okay, well, what can I do to make myself better? What can I do to make my teammates better? How can I respond better to these situations? Sitting at 128 sacks sounds really good. 130 sounds better.
Have you looked up the record for most sacks by a 35-year-old player or anything like that?
No, could care less. Isn't there Clay still out there? Clay's going to be playing for another 3 years.
In a single season.
No, because I mean, I remember, Julius Peppers, his last year, he had 11 sacks. You watched that one, so a minimum was 11. We have some hunting to do. Now, granted, yeah, he was out there going crazy, and had majority of reps over at Carolina, but it was Carolina at the time.
As kind of your production keeps increasing or keeps going, do you feel like the conversation's shifting at all between is Cam going to retire to is Cam going to be back next year playing games?
I don't know. I don't know if I've ever considered any of that. I've left that for the uppers to figure out, and you guys figure out. I mean, if they don't want me, there's 31. There's really 4 other teams. There's really 3 other teams. It's real low.
Playing and retiring, not playing here. Right?
I mean, in my mind, it's always playing here versus or retiring. But again, maybe it's not. As you look at the last couple of years, maybe you do have to look around. I think that time will tell where that happens. I'm just focused on this week, this game, how best to attack the run game and set us up for an advantageous pass rush situation.
No, we asked you about it a couple of weeks ago, but facing the Bucs again, given what the GM said last time out, does that?
What did he say last time? Oh, the Twitter situation. Yeah, I know, right? When you have one of the greatest quarterbacks ever, you have a little confidence behind you, And since Drew retired, we've had maybe was it 9 quarterbacks start for us, which continuity is key sometimes, paramount, if you will. But because of that, I mean, it's also shown that Tampa has won 4 division championships since then, right? Because even Drew's last year, I don't think they did. I think they got wiped during the regular season. Best 2 out of 3 on that one. And now here we are. They've got they went to go find their quarterback, Baker Mayfield, who was a former number 1 overall pick. Before that, they had Tom Brady. See what they did there. As well as the landscape's changing as well, because I think even now we're still fighting to prove our legitimacy. So
does having the division games left help at all? Like obviously, like you talked about, it's like you're eliminated from the playoffs, but there's you don't have to search for motivation.
I've never had to search for motivation a day in my life to play football. I can wake up, roll over, and be excited for training camp, as you see me be for the last 15 years. I don't need motivation when we talk about the game of football. I mean, where else can I roll over and be like, you know what, I got to hit somebody today? Can't really do that in too many other places.
I guess I just meant in the broader sense for the entirety of the team, right? Like
yeah, other people can't control other people. Yeah, hey, I think everybody's on the same page though. If anything, it sort of is like all right, how can I best turn my situation to an advantageous situation? I think this room is filled with a locker room full of great guys and great competitors, and it sort of takes to practice like it did today, or whatever that part was. But it'll be even better tomorrow, and we'll roll on from Sunday. Because we got guys like John Ridgway who keeps shaving his face, looking like a 6'7" Gerber baby, but with the butt chin.
What's the Riz talking about?
You think? I don't think he's winning with that one.
You think any of that motivation comes from having such a young locker room and so many of the young guys playing, that maybe there's still that youthfulness and excitement as opposed to having maybe gone through some of the recent challenges?
Sure, if you say so. Again, I don't really worry about that, because I think the locker room as a collective has been so forward focused. It's like, we know what we've done. And I think I've said it all season. If we clear up our mistakes, if we play our brand of football, then we can win a lot more of these games. When you're not having penalties that set back drives or whatever, penalties that are giving life to their side. We play clean games. We're usually happy. We just haven't been happy because we keep getting our own way.
All right, so we're gonna stop it right there, man. But that's Cam Jordan. I mean, always entertaining, always real. And gotta love Cam Jordan. Gotta love 94, man, especially the way that he's been playing over the last few weeks, man, leading by example. Because, I mean, Lord knows there are not a lot of bright spots on this football team, but it's good to know 94 is still going hard and not phoning it in. And hopefully the rest of his teammates will follow suit and don't phone it in, despite the fact that they can't make the playoffs. And this hasn't been the best season for the New Orleans Saints. But let's go ahead and read a few more comments. Then we'll open up the phone lines here. It says Mickey needs to get out of the way and let Kellen take control of drafting, etc. That should help the Saints. Look, man, I think that the general consensus, and I haven't even opened up the phone lines yet, but I already know what I'm going to hear. But, I think that the Saints front office definitely needs to make some changes. I don't think anybody at this point really believes in Mickey Loomis, and the biggest issue is I don't think they care. The Saints are going to do things their way, and we've seen this before. The Saints with this whole rebuilding process, they kind of came into this kicking and screaming, not wanting it to happen, and basically fate kind of forced their hand, and now we're in this situation right here, all because of Mickey Loomis and the front office not being realistic at, no pun intended, the state of the Saints at that point. And you don't have the cast of characters that were synonymous with your success. Like, you have a few of them, but you don't have the key pieces, especially when it comes to Drew Brees and Sean Payton. So definitely should have turned the page there. And, it's just the morale of the city, the state. I mean, just Saints fans all over, the way that this team in the last 5 years has looked. It's been embarrassing. And you got to be real with yourself. If this was any other organization, Mickey Loomis would not have a job as a general manager. And that's just the reality. Like, Gail Benson, with all due respect, she can do interviews and say that fans are being ridiculous for calling for Mickey Loomis's job as the general manager. But I just think that it's ridiculous that she would even say that is ridiculous. I mean, look, the NFL is a performance-driven league, right? It doesn't matter what you did 2 years ago, 3 years ago. It's about what you're actually doing right now. And over the last 5 seasons, this will be 5 seasons, the Saints haven't made the playoffs. Mickey Loomis has a losing record as a general manager without Sean Payton and Drew Brees. And it just seems like he can't replicate what he has done with them at the helm. So what are you supposed to do? I mean, you can say that the organization is trying. Well, that's fine and dandy, but when things aren't going the right way, you need to make the changes. And it don't seem like they want to do that. It seems like they want this whole Mickey Loomis experience to work, all because they just care about each other. And look, I get it. When you work with somebody for a long time, it becomes way more than just, your coworker. It becomes a friendship. You get to know those people. You probably go to each other's house. You probably hang out with each other. Your kids probably hang out with each other. And I get all that. And you don't want to have those tough decisions. But football is a business at the end of the day. And if you're not willing to do business in the name of football, then what the hell are you owning a team for? Why are you making executive decisions? You shouldn't make executive decisions solely on emotion. And that just seems like that has been the case for the New Orleans Saints. It is mostly emotional driven instead of business driven. Now, there is a sprinkle of business in there somewhere, but when it comes to certain things and certain practices from the Saints up top, it just seems like they're driven by emotion. And emotion, for the most part, is not going to get you sustainable success. And that's just something that they're just going to have to acknowledge. Going to go ahead and put that link inside of the chat. And, want to hear from you. If you can change one thing about the New Orleans Saints, what would it be? It can be anything. It says having friends in business is horrible. I mean, look, if your friend is willing to go hard in the paint as hard as you are, and, willing to understand that business decisions need to be made. And sometimes that may even include moving friendship and relationships aside in the name of business. I mean, if your friend understands that, then that's cool. But I've learned that it's probably best for you not to get into business with people that you value like that, because it's going to come a time where you're going to have to make tough decisions, and that may involve having to fire somebody that's close to you, rather it's your brother, rather it's your sister, rather it's your mom. It's a tough decision. So, if you don't have the right core and you don't have a person with thick skin, and don't go into business with your friends, period. Like I said, because it's going to come a time where you're going to have to be at each other's head and make very, very, very tough decisions. And the question is, will you be willing to make it? And sometimes people hesitate. And I tell people this all the time. Like, if you're running a business and it gets to a point where you have to hesitate to talk to somebody, you already know what it is. It's no longer business anymore. It's a relationship. We're going to go ahead and move to Jerry. Jerry, how you doing, man?
What's going on, TJ? What's up?
Yeah, I'm doing fine, man. Jerry, thank you for calling in. Appreciate you chiming in here on the State of the Saints podcast tonight. Now we're talking about if you can change one thing about the Saints, what would it be? But the floor is yours, Jerry.
Well, TJ, you already know my number one thing I want to change. And just like everybody else, everybody knows, I want Mickey Loomis to step down as general manager or get fired. Yeah, that's the one thing I want to change, or get some new people in the office and let Loomis step down and let somebody else be general manager. That'll change one thing for me.
Yeah, I think it'll change a lot for everybody. I just think that the whole Mickey Loomis experience has run its course. And look, I look in the grand scheme of things, I respect Mickey Loomis for not abandoning ship. Right? He's willing to try to see this thing through, but it just seems like it's just not working. Like the way that they're trying to structure this team, that they're basically bargain basement shopping here. Like they're getting guys on rookie deals and they're trying to construct the team almost like they're trying to build a mock draft or something like that, a makeshift draft, like getting young guys that got some experience that made some plays throughout the NFL on various teams, and they're trying to do it that way. And then they're trying to, I guess, fix things through the draft. So they're trying to hit the reset button by bringing in young players that have made a little bit of an impact on another team. But I just think, man, I just think the damage indeed has been done. It's going to have to take a lot to get back into the good graces of the Who Dat Nation, man.
Absolutely, DJ. And everything you said is true.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the main reasons why that we are eliminated right now, because Mickey Loomis. But on the other topic you were talking about, TJ, about Blake Grupe taking shots.
Okay.
Look, if anybody should be taking shots, the Who Dat Nation is taking shots at Blake Grupe, because Blake Grupe, he's the one that been missing kicks left and right. Not just field goals, extra points, you name it.
Yeah.
So if anybody should be taking shots, it's not Blake Grupe taking shots at the Saints. It's the Saints and the Who Dat Nation taking shots at Grupe.
Yeah.
And he's probably one. He's one of the reasons why that the Saints are currently eliminated for playoff contention.
Yeah.
Because he's been missing kicks that's supposed to matter, TJ.
Yeah. Look, he has nobody to blame but himself. I said that at the top of the show, and it's just the truth. Like, you're talking about playing meaningful football, and that's fine and great. You know, like, man, it's great. Like, make some field goals and help the Indianapolis Colts win the AFC South. I have no problem with that. But let's not sit up here and pretend like this wasn't your own doing. Like, you are the reason why. Like, the Saints don't want to get rid of Blake Grupe. Like, Kellen Moore stood at that podium on at least 2 occasions. And when the question was asked, what you gonna do with Blake Grupe? Are y'all bringing kickers in? Are y'all bringing kickers in? They did not bring kickers in. Like, it got to a point where when we were having shows here, and we like, dang, they ain't bringing a kicker, nothing to try to scare him or anything. We used the example when Garrett Hartley was struggling, and the Saints brought in John Carney, as a kicking consultant. Like, they did something. They didn't even do that. They was like, okay, man, you'll get over it. You're around the corner. So him being in Indianapolis is his own doing. So I just I don't understand the angle if he's taking shots at the Saints. I don't.
I agree with you, TJ, and and I'm always going to cherish Garrett Hartley for kicking that game-winning field goal in overtime in the 2009 NFC Championship that led them to their first Super Bowl. I'm gonna always cherish that forever. But now, after what I saw Sunday, I like Charlie Smith out there. That dude, he changed the kicking game this past Sunday. I mean, did you see what happened? I think he kicked like a 50-plus yard field goal.
Yeah.
And out of nowhere, he even pulled a Thomas Morstead. He even kicked the onside kick.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
that bring back memories.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, ironically, it was in Miami when it happened.
Yeah, I mean, but it was before the new stadium, though.
Yeah. I mean, look, at the end of the day, it's good. It's good that he kicked a 56-yard field goal, and I just hope that this catapults his career, and he can actually steady the ship when it comes to the special teams place kicking. But I want to see a little bit more from him. I mean, that was a clutch kick. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think that was the second longest field goal by I think a kicker making his debut, and ironically, Cade York owns the record. Like, he has a 58-yard field goal that he kicked in his debut. So the Saints have 2 record holding kickers. So I just hope that he's able to make some of those field goals. And they said it. Those long field goals haven't been Charlie's issue. It's been more so the close field goals, which has been kind of what Blake Grupe was dealing with. But as far as what you're saying in regards to Blake Grupe, man, like I said, man, that's hilarious if he's taking shots at the Saints. Like, come on, man. Like, they wanted you to be here. They wanted you to be here.
Exactly, TJ. Like I say, if anybody should be to blame about this, it's himself.
Yep, absolutely, man.
Yeah. But one other thing, TJ, and I'm gonna get out of here. I like that Beanie Bishop signing.
Yeah, me too, man.
That. Yeah, that's and he this is like his second year, I believe, in the NFL.
Yeah, yep. It's his second year, man.
I know he played a year with the Steelers.
He played a year with the Steelers. Like I said, he was in the month of October last season. He was the defensive rookie of the month. I think I watched that game when they played against the Jets, man. He had 2 interceptions off Aaron Rodgers. Ironically, they were teammates this season. But it's just he's a guy, man. And I mentioned this too. It's not like he can't come in and maybe have some really good reps, and be a part of this rotation. Because right now, man, the Saints have nothing to lose. We talked about this on Sunday, Jerry. Saints don't have anything to lose. You might well see what you actually have in some of these practice squad guys. Maybe get guys like Fadil Diggs, some opportunities, Jonah Williams some opportunities. Like, let's see what these young guys can do, man, because right now you need to figure out what you're going to do about the future, and I mean, you pretty much know what you have with some of these other like usual suspects. Let's see what you got in some of these guys that are on the practice squad. Let's see if these guys get activated. Let's see if they have what it takes. And if they don't, then guess what? You know what you need to do this next offseason.
Exactly, TJ. Like you were saying on that last segment, I just want to see these young guys develop. Guys like like Stutzman and
right.
You saw what he did Sunday.
Yep.
Came out of nowhere.
Big time tackle on Devon Achane. I mean, that's the intensity that you want to see, man. That's the type of energy that you want to see. You want to see Isaiah Stallbird. I mean, he's a really good sideline linebacker. If he can put that all together, I mean, I can see him, being that guy that everybody kind of talks about, like all he needed was an opportunity. Like he looks the part, and he always seems to be around the football and making plays. So let's see if we can add some more guys to the room and try to see if the Saints can actually see what they actually have in some of these other players, man. All you're doing right now is playing spoiler and basically 5 games of preseason, to be honest.
Look, that's all we're doing right now, TJ, is playing spoiler because you can 86 to 8 of the playoffs because this is just practice, so we just get ready for next year for 2026. So that's one thing, TJ, that the Saints are very good at. We may not make the playoffs, but we can show enough play spoiler to spoil other teams' chances to get to the playoffs.
Yeah, and honestly, that would be a good look for Kellen Moore right now because that would mean that he didn't lose the locker room. So if these guys go out here and continue to play hard, it just basically tells you that maybe Kellen Moore is the coach that they need because right now you don't have anything to play for. And you have a bunch of guys that could be thinking about Cancun plans or getting out the country. And, when guys start getting close towards the end of the season, start making business decisions like, man, I ain't trying to go out here, hurt my shoulder and have to rehab. And I mean, it's the truth, Jerry.
I got you, man.
Like, what am I ain't making a playoff check, still gonna hit the bank. It takes a special type of player to understand, like, okay, in the grand scheme, our ultimate goal we won't be able to accomplish this season. But guess what? I'm still gonna go out there and give it all for my teammates. How many guys in that locker room that are going to sincerely feel that way and still be able to play at a high level? And like you say, play spoiler to some of these teams and play some respectable football down the stretch. We'll see, man. We'll see.
Absolutely, TJ. But that's all I have for tonight, TJ. I'm glad to have you back from your vacation. Hope all went well. And, shout out to Chosen for filling in while you was away.
Yeah, man.
He did an awesome job, and I applaud him for that.
Yeah, he did an awesome job, man. And thank you, Jerry, for always sticking by the show, man, and always supporting the show since day one. And thank you for your comments, man, and also just chiming in tonight. It's always a pleasure to chop it up with you, man. Call back anytime.
Will do, TJ. You have a blessed week and happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, same to you, man. Happy holidays to you and your family. Take care.
To you, brother. Right, be blessed.
Yeah, you too. Yeah, shouts out to Jerry, man. Yeah, I mean, look, this is going to be very telling over the next couple of weeks. Very, very telling. Very telling about what Kellen Moore and who Kellen Moore is as a head coach. And will these guys continue to follow him despite the fact that they're eliminated from playoff contention and they only have 2 wins as of right now? But we'll see. We'll see. Let's go ahead and read some more comments here. It says Mickey has about a 10% draft success. What percentage does a middle-of-the-road GM usually hit on draft classes? Or does a Saints 2017 class rarely comes around and amounts to insert number average drafts? That's a good question. Number one, I believe, and I challenge anybody to this fact. I just feel like the 2017 draft class for the Saints was the best draft class by one team I've ever seen. Like, seriously, like I've never seen those many impactful players in one draft. Like, you had Marshawn Lattimore win Defensive Rookie of the Year. You had Alvin Kamara win Offensive Rookie of the Year. You had Marcus Williams, I believe he led the team in interceptions that season. You had guys like Trey Hendrickson making plays. Alex Anzalone was a part of that draft. Akadim Muhammad was a part of that draft. Like they had some dogs. They had some dogs, man, in that draft, man. And also Ryan Ramczyk. So it's like that to me was like, I don't think you can find a better draft. I don't. Like I said, I mean, I'm pretty sure there was some draft classes that can probably spar with that draft class, but that's like finding lightning in a bottle. I don't know what the percentage is. That's very interesting. I'm pretty sure that I'm gonna look it up once I'm done. But I don't know. I don't know what the percentage is. I just know that when a GM hits, he hits, and when he misses, everybody knows about it. Just like when he hits, everybody knows about it. I don't know the percentage, but I do know this. Mickey Loomis is not, him in the front office have not been very good at selecting players. Now, this has been a really good draft. I will say this. I would give them credit for this. Like, this draft that they had this past year is really good. Like, Calvin Banks, I feel like is a hit. Tyler Shuck, even though there's still question marks, I think it's a hit. Urinus Sink, I think, is a hit. Vernon Broughton, let's put a question mark there. A lot of people high on Danny Stutzman, right? I mean, he flashes, right? Quincy Riley, I think he flashes, right? I mean, Devin Neal, he started to run pretty hard, in the second half. I think this was a pretty good draft. I do. I do. I just think that people are so fed up with Mickey Loomis. It's like they ain't even trying to look at that. Like, there's a couple things I will say that he has done well, but I just feel like there's so much negative equity that is built up. It's like to a point of no return. Like, people are just done with this guy. He would have to, like, the Saints would have to completely turn it around. I'm talking about multiple division titles, like top quarterback in the league in Tyler Shuck. Like, it had to be like something like that. Like, Kellen Moore winning Coach of the Year. It's going to have to be something of that magnitude in order for Saints fans to continue to buy in to Mickey Loomis. Because I can tell you right now that this relationship is like, it's like the married couple. Somebody sleeping on the couch, somebody in the bedroom, right? I mean, that's just what it is right now. We just coexisting right now. Like, will this marriage counseling work? We don't know. TJ, but Mr. Telephone Man, there's something wrong with my line. When I dial TJ's number, I get a click every time. Grandizer, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you for the comments, man. But you can always chime in to the show, man. Appreciate that. We're talking tonight. And for those that just tuned in, and we got 139 people watching this right now in real time. Now we just boost up to 143. Please hit the like button and subscribe. And if you're just tuning in, we're talking about if you can change one thing about the New Orleans Saints team, what would it be? All right, you can put your comments in the chat. You can chime in through the phone lines. All right, we'll take a few more of these comments, then we're gonna go ahead and get up out of here because my wife made wings and I'm hungry. All right, let's see. Right on. Thanks, TJ, for answering my question. Who that? No problem, man. Thank you for submitting your question. Thank you for submitting your question. You didn't have to submit the question to the show, man, but you did, and I appreciate that. Thank you for being a part of the show. TJ, it don't matter. Are we sick of Mickey Mouse or we need a younger GM? Yeah, Bronze, I agree with you, Bronze. Like, it's to a point of no return. Like I said, the couple, one is sleeping on the couch, one in the bedroom, man. Right? I mean, we basically, only thing we ain't do is sign them papers. TJ, do you think we will see a well put together game from our Saints this year by winning and scoring over 30 points? Bucks, I mean, that's just wishful thinking at this point, man. I would hope to see them, put together a complete game this season, but I don't know, man. I just think that this team is what you see is what you get. And I don't want anybody to get their hopes up about a team that we have seen constantly. And we've seen 12 times, play 12 games, and they are what they are. Like, the only thing the New Orleans Saints can do is just try to get better. And like I said, continue to play spoiler throughout the season. Like, that's all you can do. And try to build on something going into the offseason. and trying to find pieces that can actually make your team better in 2026. Just got to look towards the future. Like this season has been a disaster. And I just think that, sitting in front of your television and hoping that this team just becomes something that they're not, I just don't want to see anybody get their hopes up about it. But I do want to see them play some better football. And despite the fact of being eliminated from playoff contention, still fighting, scratching and clawing and trying to do the best they possibly can to find success as much as they possibly can from, from their perspective, like whatever it may be, right? Rather it be personal accolades like Cam Jordan was alluding to, rather it's trying to be a leader by example like Cam Jordan is and Demario Davis and so many other guys, or just basically just trying to put some good stuff on tape, because despite the fact that you may not be a starter or you may not be getting much playing time, when your number is called, you're putting stuff on tape for a possible chance of being signed by another team in the offseason, even if the Saints don't bring you back. So there's still a lot to play for a lot of these guys. I'll forgive Mickey if he drafts Arvell Reese. Well, look, I think that it would take more than that. But, yeah, that would be a start. Just draft the best player available. Feel free to stick around. We good. Says, I would fire Mickey Loomis. That's been that's been the number one answer the entire night. TJ, think the Saints go be good next year. I think they'll be better than what they are this year. I think right now they basically just planting the seeds of trying to become something better. I think you'll see a better version. I have to see how the offseason unfolds and what they actually bring to the table in order for me to say, what kind of season it will be. You got to see what they put together. But even if they do put something together, I'm still not going to jump out the window. I got to see it. Not going to Atlanta Falcon this thing where we talk about what you going to do when y'all got this. And then all of a sudden, like, you got 4 wins and, now you're feeling bad. Like, sometimes you just got to look at the team that you root for and what they've done and their track record and, just kind of have to adjust accordingly. What is one thing you want to change to make the Saints better in the future? Well, Jared, that's a good question. What would I want to change? Man, I mean, look, I think the general consensus once again is Mickey Loomis. But I look, if I could change one thing, number one, it would be Mickey Loomis. But if I can just go ahead and pivot and think of something else, it would have to be the energy of this football team. I just feel like the energy of this football team has been stale since I think the last time this team had energy, and maybe y'all can find some other game, but I just think it was that Halloween game, Tampa versus New Orleans. PJ Williams intercepted that ball on a pick six from off Tom Brady. That was the last time I felt the energy of the New Orleans Saints organization, fan base, etc. I would change the energy. Like, they need like just a shot in the arm, man. Like, not only were the Saints winning football games is what I miss. I miss the vibe of the Superdome. I miss the vibe and the energy of Saints fans who had the confidence. Even like I miss if the Saints lose a football game, you shocked. That's the kind of stuff I miss. I miss hearing the Superdome so loud and how, the commentary, just like the commentators, they'll just be quiet just to hear the Superdome, and they'll bring these decimal meters into the Superdome. Like, I miss that type of energy because we all know that energy still exists. It's just waiting for something to wake it up. So if I can change anything, it would be the energy of the football team. And I just think that the energy has died because for the last 5 seasons, Mickey Loomis has brought in, and they can't change what they are, but they are what they are. He's brought in bland, boring, uninteresting coaches that don't have that fire and that passion that resonates with the city. I know a lot of people have their criticisms about Lane Kiffin. I hear it all the time. I've been hearing people talk about Lane Kiffin and how he just burn bridges everywhere he goes. But I will say this, the energy that Lane Kiffin brings as a personality, a human being, and as a coach, it fits like hand in glove with the city the state of Louisiana, the city of New Orleans, the city of Baton Rouge, it checks all the boxes because we love that me against the world type mentality. We like that chip on shoulder. And Lane Kiffin provides that. He'll tell you how he feels. He's unapologetically himself, and he doesn't give a damn what you think. And that has been the energy for a long time with the Saints. And that is something that I miss. If I can change one thing, it would be the freaking energy of this football team. Bring the energy back to the Superdome. Bring the energy back to the fan base. Bring the energy back to the organization. That is what I miss. That is what I would change. Because it's infectious. It's an energy like none other. And I'm pretty sure other fans will probably say, I beg to differ. But there's nothing like being a Saints fan when the Saints are rolling. And when I'm talking about they steamrolling somebody. And that Superdome is rocking and people are having a good time. And you hit them who that chance. You hear stand up and get crunk. Like you hear those things and it registers with you. But right now, like I said, it's like everybody in the left the party and there's only one person dancing on the dance floor. How much fun are you going to have? Like, you might be able to do the two-step, but eventually you're going to look around and say, man, I wish somebody was here dancing with me. So that's what I would change, man. That's what I would change. TJ, why? We should have kept Rizzy. Yeah, Rizzy brought that energy that I like. I think that he had that type of energy that the Saints needed. And I honestly feel like maybe him being that game managing type head coach probably would have worked. Now, you're going to have to replicate that because if you're not a coach that specializes in anything other than special teams, similar to like John Harbaugh, you got to make sure that you're knocking it out of the park with offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators. If you're doing that, then it's great. If you're like doing even with Todd Bowles, he's a defensive-minded coach. But he does a really good job at finding offensive coordinators every single year. If you're a game managing coach like a Dan Campbell, right, like a John Harbaugh, you got to be able to bring in the right guys. But I like the energy of Rizzy. I thought that it was great. I don't think the New Orleans Saints wanted to give him an opportunity to give him a chance, though. Let's see. I agree with you. Can't argue with you on that. Yeah, look, it would be Mickey Loomis, Jerry, but everybody's, saying that. So, like I said, I have to pivot, but I just miss the energy of the fan base. One thing I changed, correct me, is the same salary cap. Okay, all right. To get large contract off the books, get draft picks, and start the page off new. We often hear Saints cap is always against the cap. Grandizer, that's a good point right there. That is a very, very good point. Like, changing the salary cap definitely would be key because you can start from scratch. You can bring in some guys. You can attract some free agents, right? And if you're drafting well, you can accompany those free agents with some solid draft picks of guys that can possibly be cornerstone guys in the future. So that's a good take right there. That's a good option. Reginald says, OG, Jerry, who that family, LOL family. What's going on, Reginald? Appreciate you for being here. B. Creole says, yes, we want that energy back in the dome when you couldn't hear yourself talk because it was so loud. Yeah, that's the energy that you want, man, and I miss it. Do you think they get rid of Doug Nussmeier? Why would you get rid of Doug Nussmeier? Everybody knows that Kellen Moore is calling the plays, and Doug Nussmeier has been with Kellen Moore throughout every stop, from the Cowboys to the Chargers to the Eagles. He's been right there with him. So that's like his right-hand man. That's like Sean Payton with Pete Carmichael. So, no, I don't think that he's going to get rid of him. I think they're a package deal. I think they're going to try to figure this thing out. And I think they probably feel like if you bring in some more talented players, they'll be able to work with them and make things better. Maybe they feel like another year, second year with Tyler Shuck would be better than the first. And maybe they feel like some of these other guys will be able to step up. And when they add a few more pieces alongside them, that they'll have a very potent offense. But, look, that remains to be seen. And, I don't know if they're going to get rid of Nussmeier. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that they're too conjoined at the hip. I think they're a package deal. But some like to give more options and not see the underline of his philosophy, but oh well. I put it like this, man. What I've learned by doing research on Kellen Moore over the last couple of days is you put weapons around him, he's able to use them. The better the weapons, the more effective he will be as a head coach. Now, it sounds very simple, like no duh, right? I mean, you give anybody great talent, they're going to be able to work with him. But what I'm saying is if you give him guys that can go out there and make plays, if you can give him guys that can get yards after catch, guy that can break free on a big run, he can be able to scheme things up. Like it's relatively simple here. You know, they don't have the right ingredients to make the good meal. What you're doing right now is taking what you actually have and trying to make a stew out this thing. So in some cases, I give him the benefit of the doubt. But what I can't give him the benefit of the doubt with is the fact that the offense can't move the football. And like you look at some of the worst teams in the NFL as of right now, and even they can move the football. Well, I seen the Jets score 27 points on the Falcons, and the Saints couldn't even score an offensive touchdown. They only got 3 points. Like 3 points. You had a pick six and 3 points. And you was in the red zone, what, 3 times? Yet the Jets don't have Garrett Wilson. They out there with a Donnie Mitchell, Mason Taylor, who, you know, like he's good, but come on, man, like he's a rookie. He's trying to figure it out. And Tyrod Taylor. And they went out there and put up 27 points. There's no excuse for that. I don't care. Like the Saints got enough talent on his football team for you to be able to scheme something up in the red zone, and it works. So that's what I'm more disappointed in. Now, with better talent, I do feel like Kellen Moore would be able to utilize this offense effectively. And I think that would solve the problem. I mean, that's what the statistics and analytics show about Kellen Moore. I mean, it would also say that about a lot of coaches, but it helps him. So hopefully the New Orleans Saints can fix some of the issues that plague them, and you'll see a much better product offensively on the field. TJ, swap coaches, Sean Payton to Denver, Moore to Denver, send Mickey to Denver too. Yeah, that would be something. But look, I don't think that Denver is going to be letting Sean Payton go anytime soon the way he got them going. Who that nation? How do y'all feel about the city of New Orleans owning the team instead of Gale? Look, I think that would be interesting. But, you know, I don't know if that would ever happen when it comes to ownership group. You know, they'll probably try to sell it to a sole owner as push come to shove. If anything happens to Mrs. Benson, which I hope is like way, way down the line. Look, I'm not trying to see nobody expire at the expense of football. Like if you're thinking like that, then, man, my goodness, it don't get that serious. But, you know, I don't think anything is going to change until, you know, that day comes. And, you know, right now you just got to hope that they get it right. It's unfortunate that Mrs. Benson doesn't really know that much about football. I just think that, you know, she inherited the team from her late husband, Tom Benson, and she's just trying to rely on the people that know football more than she does. But I don't see like an ownership group like you will see with Green Bay or anything like that. Or I want to say Denver, I think they have an ownership group. Washington, I think they have a little bit of an ownership group over there with the Commanders. So, I mean, I don't see that happening with the Saints. You know, I think that if something was to happen, somebody else would jump in and own this football team. TJ, Jets have a great old line, though. We don't. Yeah, fair enough. Fair. Send Kellen Moore to Denver. Sean Payton to New Orleans. I think I already read that. And it says T. Riley, Jets O-line can't help the bad quarterback play. Yeah, it's been bad, man. It's been bad. So the team can go broke. I mean, they can, but I don't see that happening. I mean, not with these television deals and all this NFL revenue. I don't see that happen. Now we got a better organization than Washington. I don't know. I mean, when Snyder was there, I mean, you got an argument. But now this ownership group that they have, it seems like, you know, they're trying to turn things around. I mean, it's unfortunate what happened with Jaden Daniels, you know, him going down with that elbow injury. But I think they're steering in the right direction, man. They trying to figure this thing out. But, you know, I mean, when Snyder was there, I mean, they were an absolute train wreck. And this came from a very well-respected woman who follows and been covering the Commanders for about as long as I've been alive, all right? I mean, so, you know, I mean, the stuff that was going on in that organization, what she was telling me My goodness. But yeah, man, now it seems like they're trying to turn this thing around. Yeah, they're trying to turn this thing around, man. But my final thoughts are, man, very, very simple. And if you didn't get a chance to do so, feel free to put the comments down below. What would you like to change about the Saints if you can just choose one thing to change about this organization? What would it be? I would love to hear from you. Thank you to all those that chimed in. Shouts out to Jerry for calling in. And thank you for the people that also gave their thoughts about what they would want to change about the organization. But regardless, too, what you decided on, rather it's Mickey Loomis, rather it's the salary cap like Grandizer, rather it's the energy like I alluded to, or anything else. Like, things need to change in New Orleans. I think we're all in agreement on that. Nobody wants to see this team continue to fumble all over itself and just lose and just rip our hearts out year after year. I just hope that the organization can see the forest through the trees. I just hope that they can actually right the ship. Like, that's all you can ask for. I hope that Kellen Moore is able to find his groove as a coach. I hope that Tyler Shuck improves week to week. And I just hope this team doesn't quit, because if this team decides to go out there and quit after being eliminated from playoff contention, there's a lot of more questions than answers when it comes to this football team. And, you got to look forward to the offseason. But at the end of the day, you want to put your best stuff on tape, and you don't want to phone it in. And Kellen Moore definitely doesn't want to lose the locker room. So they got to keep on fighting and keep on trying to be the best team they can be and possibly play spoiler down the stretch as they play their NFC South foes. The majority of the season. You still got Tampa. You play them on Sunday. You got to play Atlanta again, and you got to play Carolina. And then you have a game versus the Jets and Titans. So you got 3 out of your next 5 games against NFC South rivals. So if you can win a couple of those games, keep your record respectable. I know some people may not want that. They probably want that number 3 or that number 2 pick. But if you continue to fight, then, I think it will tell a lot about Kellen Moore. If they don't, I think it'll tell a lot about Kellen Moore. Comment down below, like and share this video. And also, special shout out to everybody that checks out the NFC South Roundtable. Make sure that you subscribe to that channel every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Me alongside Berto, Clay, and James break down the NFC South. Each one of us represent our respective teams. Me with the Saints, Clay with the Carolina Panthers, James with Tampa, and Berto with the Atlanta Falcons. And, we bust each other chops, but we have a really good time over there, and we talk football. And if you're into that type of stuff, make sure that you come on over to the NFC South Roundtable. Win, lose, or draw. Nobody is wrecking shop in the NFC South, so you should feel right at home. You shouldn't feel embarrassed or anything like that your team sucked, because you can look around the room. I mean, some people's odor you can smell as well. All right. Follow me on X at TJAYJones8. And also, once again, thank you so much for those that chimed in. And shouts out to all the people that have not chimed in but watch this show frequently. And I really do appreciate it. It means a lot to me. Till next time, all I got to say is,
thank you for listening to my daddy's podcast. Please subscribe to our channel.
All I got to say is, who dat?